The Cowboys traded a 5th and 6th round pick to the Texans for wide receiver Brandin Cooks. In 2023, Cooks is guaranteed $18 million and his contract was restructured, so the Cowboys are going to pay 12 of that. And I think this was a solid move. Anytime you've got a contending team like Dallas and a rebuilding team like Houston, you're going to see trades like this that seem kind of lopsided based on the player's name recognition and past production. They just did pretty much the exact same thing with Stephon Gilmore, and this is a good move for the Cowboys to make to fill the biggest remaining need on their roster, but it's not a long-term solution and it shouldn't prevent the Cowboys from investing in the receiver position this draft. Before we get into the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Also follow us on all of our social medias. You can find the links to those in the description below. In 2022, Brandin Cooks had a down year statistically. This was only the second time in the last 8 years that he didn't eclipse 1,000 yards, and part of that was out of his control. He wasn't playing with a great offense or a great quarterback, but he also had a lot of drops this season, which took away some big plays. He had the second highest drop rate of his career, and when you look at past seasons, drops haven't really been a major issue for Brandin Cooks, so there's reason for optimism that he'll regress back to the mean in that area. And I really saw no drop off in Brandin Cooks' speed and route running ability, and compared to Michael Gallup, who by any metric you look at was one of the worst receivers in the NFL versus man coverage, I think Brandin Cooks is easily going to be an upgrade, at least for this next season. Cooks is known primarily as a deep threat, but he's a really quick and shifty route runner. He's able to integrate jab steps and subtle movements into his route break without losing any momentum. So if you send him on a deep post, the defensive back's already going to be terrified of his speed. And then Cooks has the agility and the technique to shake defenders at the top of the route and create a ton of separation down the field. So there's a lot more to route running than just corner posts and double moves. But with CeeDee Lamb and Brandin Cooks, the Cowboys have two of the best deep route runners in the NFL. And it wouldn't surprise me if we saw more two-man route concepts from Dallas, where they just go into max protect, run play action, send Cooks and Lamb running like a corner post and a dig, and you can feel pretty confident at least one of those guys is getting open. So when we look at the Cowboys receivers heading into this season, CeeDee Lamb is a stud, probably one of the more underrated receivers in the NFL. Brandin Cooks at this point I would say is a mid-range number 2 receiver, and then you've got Gallup in a more appropriate role as the wide receiver 3, and Jalen Tolbert, who I liked as a prospect, but he showed pretty much nothing his rookie season. I still think there's some potential there, but it's hard to feel too confident about what he's going to give you. And then you've got Turpin as the kick returner, and if they have a wide receiver 6, it'll probably be someone like Simi Fehoko. That's a solid receiving core for this season if they're fully healthy, but one injury could put the Cowboys in a really bad situation, and they don't really have any young players in that receiver room that you feel great about their development. So in my opinion, the Cowboys still absolutely need to draft a receiver in the first 3 or 4 rounds. A lot of that's obviously going to depend on how they feel internally about Jalen Tolbert's development, but from the outside looking in, there's really nothing positive to go off of. So it's a solid trade for the Cowboys, but I still think there's some work to be done. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, let me know in the comments any free agents or NFL draft prospects that you'd like me to cover.